It's Saturday, March 20th, 2021. Wanted to make a video today and just touch base with everybody. It's an absolutely stunning day here, about 85 degrees in Palm Desert, California. There is not much good to say about California, but at least they haven't ruined the weather yet. But as I was out earlier today, I noticed that a lot of people are in town, and that's a positive. That's really good to see. Some of the restaurants now are getting busier. They're allowing a certain capacity of indoor dining. We've got outdoor dining open. Hotels look busier. Golf courses look busier. So that's all really, really positive and good. And it's so good to see people out getting some sun, getting some exercise. And it's a great thing. But I have to think, as I'm out driving, I'm looking at the price of gas now. In some gas stations out here, over $4 a gallon for regular. And I continue to see more and more closed up businesses. And we do know that a lot of people are out today because they got their stimulus money. So people are willing to pay $4 a gallon for gas. They're willing to use that stimulus money, go out to a restaurant or to a bar and have a cocktail. But the outlook, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how sunny it is, no matter how many people are out driving, no matter how many people are out here playing golf, the outlook does not look good. And we can't be fooled by what we're seeing. Yes, people are out, they're spending money, but where did the money come from? And there's a lot of people out here with a lot of wealth, and they've made a fortune on the stock market, and they're spending money. But that doesn't mean that we don't have big problems coming. We've had, in 2020, we had over 100,000 businesses permanently closed. 12 million Americans right now are in danger of being evicted. Thursday, we got the jobless numbers. 770,000 people filed first-time jobless claims last week. Retail sales in February fell 3%. 30% right now in America say that money is their biggest concern. So I don't know if I would say that there's any type of stability right now. People, no doubt, have cabin fever and they're getting out. People have been receiving their stimulus money and they're going to get out, and a lot of them are going to spend it. And I hope that if you get a stimulus check, I hope you spend it wisely, because very, very bad times are coming to America. I was reading an article today, gold versus the stock market. And to me, this is really fake versus reality. And I'm going to just kind of go through this article. I just made some notes on it. The Fed is doing whatever it can right now to boost this economy. And their answer is to keep rates at zero and just continue with all this quantitative easing. The answer, the only solution to this problem is job creation, well-paying jobs, not these jobs in hospitality and leisure, but really well-paying jobs. And we're seeing Ford now saying that they're closing down this $900 million plant in Ohio, going to Mexico. A real slap in the face there. But those are the kind of jobs that need to be right here in America, not leaving America. The Fed slashed interest rates on 30-year mortgage rates for home buyers, which reached an all-time low of 2.65% earlier this year. AAA bond yields reached a record low last summer. U.S. government 10-year Treasury note dropped to a record low, 0.52%. The 28-day U.S. government Treasury bill rate actually turned negative for a brief period, something that's never happened before. We have seen all the effects of this cheap money, ladies and gentlemen. Corporate borrowing rates so low that the stock market has boomed. With consumers able to borrow so cheaply, home prices have surged to an all-time high. And why? Because of all this cheap money. Last year, the Fed increased the supply of U.S. dollars in the financial system, M2, by 26%, the single largest increase since 1943. The Fed has nearly doubled the size of its balance sheet in the last 12 months alone, and nearly 10x'd its balance sheet since the financial crisis of 2008. Anybody that believes that we are not going to pay severe consequences because of all this cheap money, living beyond our means, people spending money they don't even have, a government spending money it doesn't even have. If you believe that there are not going to be huge repercussions here, consequences, you're living under a rock. Historically speaking, debasing the currency eventually causes inflation. Example, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, the Weimar Republic, all saw hyperinflation, all caused by endless government money printing. And what are we seeing happening here today? And I know this is scary, this is negative, but if we don't accept what's happening, if we don't pay attention to reality, we're all going to pay a very, very severe price here. We don't need to go into hyperinflation, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we're seeing inflation. The real inflation number in America is anywhere from 8 to 10%. What happens if inflation went to 15%, 16%, 17%? We don't need to go into hyperinflation to see very, very big trouble here in America. The market is at all-time highs, yet corporate earnings are down. The average earning per share in the S&P 500 is 30.47% lower than prior to the crisis. Corporate revenue is down, yet corporate debt is substantially higher. The U.S. economy is measured by GDP, which is weaker. Consumer spending is still lower than before the crisis. Government debt is out of control, and now they want to raise your taxes. You don't think this is going to go to a very, very bad place? You don't think you need to be preparing? Yeah, it's a beautiful day. People are out here, not a care in the world. As I was out driving today, the beautiful cars, the Bentleys, the Rolls Royces, the Mercedes, the Ferraris, the Porsches, the McLarens, everybody's out. But that's the 1%. What are the masses doing today? Well, unfortunately, a lot of the masses are out doing the same thing, driving around, spending $4 for a gallon of gas, out at Walmart, out spending those stimulus checks as fast as they come in. But let's continue. The stock market bubble, the real estate bubble, the bond bubble have all been created with cheap money. And now we're seeing all this money pouring into the bank accounts of Americans. It's pouring into Wall Street. It's pouring into retail spending. It's pouring everywhere. America is going to pay a price for all of this cheap money, ladies and gentlemen, living beyond its means. All these highs were created by cheap money. And it's going we're all going to pay a huge price here, ladies and gentlemen, for all this cheap money creation. People don't realize that it has to be paid back. People don't realize that creating money out of thin air, that your currency pays a severe price. We're going to see inflation, currency debasement. It's happening right now. And people are so oblivious and so dependent now on the government to send them money. Stocks, housing, lower earnings, massive debt, all reasons of why you better have tangible, hard assets like gold and silver. I can't stress enough the importance of getting out of this system. And some people might say that the answer is cryptocurrencies. To me, sorry, I disagree. Cryptocurrencies to me is actually buying into the system. Getting out of the system means not holding a lot of money in this banking system, which is on thin ice. Not putting all of your investment in cash, all of your wealth in cash. Cash, as Ray Dalio said last year, cash is trash, and I think it's going that way. If you're holding nothing but cash, inflation is going to eat it alive. This is why I believe gold and silver are two of the most undervalued assets. They are the two most undervalued assets in the entire world. They're on sale, and so many people ignoring what's on sale. It's gold and silver, and I believe this is a time to take advantage of it. There's never been a time more important right now than to own gold and silver. And I don't give financial advice. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but I'm going to share with you what I'm doing. I'm buying gold and silver. Yes, I do have some cash put away, but I believe that the best place to be right now with all this corporate debt, with all this federal debt, with all this money printing, with the inflation that we are seeing, with all this cheap, easy money, and now this cheap money flooding into people's bank accounts, flooding into the stock market with the $1.9 trillion of stimulus and more coming. This should alarm all of you that you better be holding onto something real. And before I go, that Hedge had another article, number of issues, Facebook, Instagram suffer outages. And this is another big concern. If the internet went down, cyber attack, grid down, whatever the case may be, if you cannot access your money on the internet, what are you going to do? I cannot count how many ATMs out here have been closed down, how many banks have temporarily closed down, a few of them permanently closed down. If you're dependent 100% solely on the internet to get your money, you're going to have a problem, I think, here. Because, look, we've seen countless warnings. We've seen every corporation to NASA, to financial institutions, to banks, etc., be hacked. People's information stolen. And now here we go. Facebook and Instagram suffer outages. So how safe is your money? How safe are you if you depend on the internet and electricity to get to your money? So be aware of that. And that's another reason why I don't keep all my money, just the minimum amount of money in the bank, because I don't want to wake up one day and not be able to access it. So a lot happening. Cheap money continues to flood into the stock market, into corporate America, and flooding into people's bank accounts. And we're at a time and a place here, ladies and gentlemen, where we have not learned from history. Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Weimar Republic, and the list goes on. Take a look at what's going on in Brazil right now, South America, Central America. Americans believe that we're immune from any of this. You know, I believe that because of our entitlement, our ignorance, and our arrogance, and people just believing nothing bad can happen here, I believe that we are going to pay the most severe price. You know, again, while people like the people behind me out here are just completely oblivious to reality, are these people playing golf today really, really prepared? Are they prepared to deal with violence, social issues? What are they going to do when they wake up one day and their 401k is gone, their pension's been wiped out, their US dollar buys literally nothing? What are they going to do? They're going to come out and play golf? They'll have a lot of time to do it. I'm going to leave it there today. Don't be like the sheeple. Don't be like the masses. These people are going to lose. Again, people out here having a good time today, laughing, joking, and nothing wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. But remember this, time is one of the most, if not most important assets you have. And if you just waste it and you don't use it to put the odds in your favor, you're going to pay a price. People are going to wake up one day and they're going to want to blame somebody for everything that's happened to them. They're going to blame somebody for being wiped out financially. They're going to blame a hedge fund. They're going to blame the banks. They're going to blame the politicians. Guess what? It doesn't matter at that point. The blame game is not going to get your money back. The blame game isn't going to allow you to survive. It's too late at that point. Blame all you want. Take a good look in the mirror, because that's who you're going to have to blame. God bless. Have a great weekend. Look forward to talking to all of you soon.